And we'd like to welcome you all to our first Lunch Club Travel Edition of 2025, exploring the Great Wall of China, presented by Lou. Lou, again, thanks so much for presenting the session today. I know we'll learn a lot, and the floor is yours. Thanks so much for presenting.
Great, thanks. And boy, I just was applauding Alex. Alex puts these slides together for me, and I'm just spellbound by the quality of the slides today, Alex. Tremendous job. Uh, so let's get the show on the road here. This is a place I've never been. I've never been to China. What, top of my list or second to the top of my list of places I want to go. So I just can't wait to do this. So let me share screens here. All right. And get this show on the road. And then let's view it. And let's hopefully y'all can see it okay. Isn't that a gorgeous picture?
You're go to the first slide, Lou.
Uh,
Just
my way back there. I'm way back. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Alex. Uh, you know what? Actually, I think when I shared this, I didn't let me make sure I'm sharing the sound. Okay, now I'm sharing the sound. Great. Uh, okay, here we go. So again, welcome everybody, and so excited to present the Great Wall of China, a place I've never been, and probably on every list of the wonders of the world nowadays, and truly rightfully so. So I think this is how many are we into it? We've got Machu Picchu done, we got the Great Pyramids of Egypt done, we got the Colosseum done. So I think this is number 4 on our list. Is that right?
yeah, we're
Uh,
checking along the wonders of the world.
yeah. So here we go into the Great Wall of China. So here's a quick agenda. Where is it? Sort of not too hard to guess on that one. And then a bit about the wall itself, and then Alex will present trivia at the end. And I should be able to sound the entire call today, so that'll be exciting to take part to view the trivia. All right, so let's talk about, where is this Great Wall of China, right? Where is it? Well, let's have a look. So let's first off say, okay, let's look at the flights to get to the Great Wall. Really applaud Alex researching this. Alex, is this a real-time thing? Did
Yeah,
this search for these right now?
yes, Louis, if you see the dates, I put it for January 26th to the 2nd because if you for the first, 3 weeks, that it was about 2000 round trip because of the holidays and such. So I picked that day because those were the cheapest flights. And as you can see, for most of these, it's a long time, minimum 20 hours, but you'll see the various layovers that we've talked about and what you can do in those. So even for the first three, the cheapest trip I see is from Turkish Airlines. You'll get the best deal there according to these numbers. So take a look at the layovers for some of these, Lou.
Yeah, what's jumping out at me on this? So yeah, look at the layovers because you may get a free trip. Ooh, look at this one. That's a 37-hour one. Ooh, and the lowest price. So you might get a free trip, Turkish Airlines. Y'all been to Istanbul before? If you take this flight, you get a chance to see Istanbul, I think. That's
Yeah, click
it,
click on it. Click on it.
it,
You'll see the layovers for any of those. So click on any of them.
Before I do that, though, I wanted to point out that where we live, I believe you can get to China either way. You can travel east or you can travel west. So Turkish would be having you travel east. Qatar is traveling east. Etihad is traveling east. Those are all landing in Arabic countries. But when you get into some of the other ones, Korean Air, now you're traveling west. So you're going through LA or points west. So it's sort of interesting where we live to get to China. You can either go east or west because it's pretty much on the other side of the world. But now let's do what Alex was saying. Let's see if we get a free trip to Istanbul here. So I'm going to click on this baby and let's check this
You
out.
hit the back button. You have to make sure you hit the little arrow. So hit the back button and
Back
hit the,
button.
hit the arrow next to the trip.
Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you, Alex. Well, now this is nice. Well, check it out, folks. We get how many is that, Alex? That's a 9 hour or 11-hour layover in Istanbul. You get to leaving the airport at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then and I would be on this flight. Not only is it the cheapest, but I get 9 hours in Istanbul, and there's a lot to see in Istanbul. So this is very exciting. All right, I'm gonna go back to the, see if I know how to get back to here. Maybe I should, Alex, the best way to navigate back is,
You go back to the session, Lou. You were at it before. Yeah, and just go to the next slide.
okay, oops. Okay, so here we are, DC, the Great Wall. So now let's look about the tours and
Oh,
tickets. Oh, Alex,
so
thanks for
go back.
including this.
No, go back, Lou. So you could take us to our trip to DC. So if you tap on the tab.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, we got to leave now. Good call on that. All right, so now we start what we always do. We're going to start at the Department of Aging. We're going to follow the railroad tracks to Union Station, and then we're going to go to, I know Istanbul Airlines or Turkish Airlines flies out of Dulles. So we're going to go over to Dulles Airport, which is easily visible. It's out in this neck of the woods. And then we're going to take off and we're going to head, in this case, east. So we're going to gain some altitude here and we're going to fly east. Let's get real high up. We're going to fly east. I've been watching the news. This might be our 51st state up here, folks. We'll see how that pans out.
Yeah.
And then we keep heading over here. Now we're gonna land in Istanbul, Turkey for a 9-hour layover. All right there in Istanbul. And then we're gonna take off again. And we are gonna go, man, this is a long flight. We're gonna go all the way here to China. Oh my gosh, we're getting tired. Okay, we're gonna land in Beijing, China. I just saw it right there. There's Beijing. And we're gonna zoom in on Beijing. And here we go. And now we've landed. Now they say, and I think some of Alex's videos are gonna debunk this. They say that the Great Wall of China is the only human object you can see from space. So this is a satellite picture. Is that true or not? Well, from everything I've read, it's actually not true that you actually cannot see the Great Wall from space. So let me zoom in and sort of debunk that myth. But there are other objects you can see from space, and we're going to learn a little bit about that in just a moment here. So that's our trip from DC to Beijing, China. And now the next step is to look at the tours and tickets. So thanks for sharing this, Alexander, because if we've flown all the way across the world 29 hours, 9 hours and 11 hours in Istanbul, or 37 hours, we want to get our money's worth at this point. So let's check out some tours. Now, one of the things that jumped out at me when looking at these tours that Alex queued up is some of them are pretty cheap. $13, are you kidding me? To go to the UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Wonder of the World, a stress-free visit, only $13. So from the videos I saw, it actually is very inexpensive to get to the Great Wall from Beijing. But if you want a guided tour, you're going to have to come up with a little more cash. So here's a full day tour, including the Forbidden City, which is a major site in Beijing, Tiananmen Square, which of course is where they had the protests and some people lost their lives back in 1987. Then we have the Great Wall of China and the Ming tombs. So they're sprinkling in some more tours. So this is a little bit like what we saw when visiting Jerusalem or Israel, that you can go and you can go to the main site. The main site might be the Dead Sea or Masada, but then you're sprinkling in all these side sites. So if I was going to spend a day, I'd be sprinkling in as many side sites as I can, given I just spent all that money in 37 hours on a plane. Custom private tours, very reasonable, very, very reasonable, very reasonable.
Look at that
Okay.
boat ride. That looks amazing. That's
Which one?
Yeah. It says private tour and then it says boat ride. That's why it's 200.
Oh, yeah.
That would be very memorable.
And the a lot of these sites I've never heard of. The Long Queen Gorge, never heard of that. I'm really quite ignorant on this Chinese sites. And they had the Battling Great Wall. I'm not sure what that means.
The
Uh,
Wall of China is sectioned off in different sections, so we'll take a look at that through the videos. But yes, the bottling, and there's some other portions of the Great Wall that you can visit.
so fascinating stuff. So I strongly recommend that you all have this figured out before you get on the plane, so that you know which tour you're going to get, maybe even pre-book it. By the way, when I go on trips overseas, one of the things I would look at, of course, is price. But after price, I look at cancellation. I want free cancellation in case my plane is late, in case something comes up and I have to change my trip. And so if you do buy tickets like that in advance, try to get one that has free cancellation on it, right up until the day of the trip. All right, so let's learn about the Great Wall of China, both then and now. Beautiful graphics, Alex. I love the slide deck. Okay, so all about the Great Wall. I think we're going to get into a website. Great. So here's a little bit from a National Geographic website. And there's a Great Wall right there. I'll read through some of this for y'all. It says the Great Wall of China is one of the most notorious structures in the entire world. Actually heard it saying it's the largest human structure ever built. The Jinshanling section in the Hebei province, China, is pictured here, is only a small part of the wall, which stretches over 4,000 kilometers or 2,500 miles. Unbelievable. Just imagine all the work that went into that. One thing that most people know about the Great Wall is that it's the only man-made structure visible from space. Okay, now this is supporting what I just said, but that's not true. Since all the wall looks a lot like stone and soil that surrounds it, it's difficult to discern with the human eye, even from a low Earth orbit. And it's difficult to make out in most orbital photos. However, this does not distract from the wonder of this astounding ancient structure. For a millennia, for 1,000 years, Chinese leaders instituted wall building projects to protect the land from northern nomadic invaders. One surviving section of such an ancient wall in the Shandong province is made of hard-packed soil called rammed earth and is estimated to be 2,500 years old. That's amazing. I saw some pictures of that. Very worn down. For centuries during the Warring States period, before China was unified into a nation, such walls defended the borders. But around 220 BCE, or about 200 years before Christ, the Qin Shi Huang, also called the first emperor of China, he masterminded the process of uniting the existing walls into one. At the time, rammed earth and wood made up most of the wall. The emperor after emperor strengthened and extended the wall, often with the aim of keeping out the northern invaders. In some places, the wall was constructed of brick. Elsewhere, the quarried granite or even marble blocks were used. Wow. The wall was continuously brought up to date as building techniques advanced. And, by the way, one thing I noticed on there is how much of it is made out of brick, fired clay. I didn't think that brick would last that long. I mean, 500 years, 1,000 years out in the elements. Our houses sure don't last like that nowadays. So the Zhu Zhuangdang, who became the Haoang Emperor, took power in 1368. He founded the Ming Dynasty, famous for its achievements in arts, ceramics, and painting. The Ming emperors improved the wall with watchtowers and platforms. Most of the familiar images of the wall showing Ming era construction of stone. Depending on how the wall is measured, it stretches somewhere between 4,000 and 5,500 kilometers. So that's amazing. So a lot of the wall that we see here dates back to 1368. But even so, to get all that rain on it and all the weathering, yet it still looks as good as it is, pretty amazing. In the 17th century, the Manchu emperors extended the Chinese role into Inner Mongolia, making the wall less important as a defense. However, it retained its importance as a symbol of Chinese identity and culture. So as you can see, when China expanded beyond the wall itself in the 17th century, what do you need a wall for anymore? Your empire goes beyond the wall. So then it becomes a historic structure. But it is amazing that for 2,000 years, 2,000 years from 200 BC until the 1600s, so 1,800 years, that actually defined the border of China. Pretty amazing when you think how old our country is or how young it is. All right, any questions about what we saw so far? I think we're going to get into some good videos here. Before I go into the videos, any questions? All right. All right, well, let's learn a little bit about the history of the Great Wall. Here we go.
A 13,000-mile dragon of earth and stone winds its way through the countryside of China with a history almost as long and serpentine as its structure. The Great Wall began as multiple walls of rammed earth built by individual feudal states during the Chunqiu period to protect against nomadic raiders north of China and each other. When Emperor Qin Shi Huang unified the states in 221 BCE, the Tibetan Plateau and Pacific Ocean became natural barriers. But the mountains in the north remained vulnerable to Mongol, Turkish, and Xiongnu invasions. To defend against them, the emperor expanded the small walls built by his predecessors, connecting some and fortifying others. As the structures grew from Lingtao in the west to Liaodong in the east, they collectively became known as the Long Wall. To accomplish this task, the emperor enlisted soldiers and commoners, not always voluntarily. Of the hundreds of thousands of builders recorded during the Qin dynasty, many were forcibly conscripted peasants, and others were criminals serving out sentences. Under the Han dynasty, the wall grew longer still, reaching 3,700 miles and spanning from Dunhuang to the Bohai Sea. Forced labor continued under the Han emperor Han Wudi, and the wall's reputation grew into a notorious place of suffering. Poems and legends of the time told of laborers buried in nearby mass graves, or even within the wall itself. And while no human remains have been found inside, grave pits do indicate that many workers died from accidents, hunger, and exhaustion. The wall was formidable, but not invincible. Both Genghis and his son Kublai Khan managed to surmount the wall during the Mongol invasion of the 13th century. After the Ming dynasty gained control in 1368, they began to refortify and further consolidate the wall, using bricks and stones from local kilns. Averaging 23 feet high and 21 feet wide, the wall's 5,500 miles were punctuated by watchtowers. When raiders were sighted, fire and smoke signals traveled between towers until reinforcements arrived. Small openings along the wall let archers fire on invaders, while larger ones were used to drop stones and more. But even this new and improved wall was not enough. In 1644, northern Manchu clans overthrew the Ming to establish the Qing dynasty, incorporating Mongolia as well. Thus, for the second time, China was ruled by the very people the wall had tried to keep out. With the empire's borders now extending beyond the Great Wall, the fortifications lost their purpose. And without regular reinforcement, the wall fell into disrepair. Rammed earth eroded, while brick and stone were plundered for building materials. But its job wasn't finished. During World War II, China used sections for defense against Japanese invasion, and some parts are still rumored to be used for military training. But the wall's main purpose today is cultural. As one of the largest man-made structures on Earth, it was granted UNESCO World Heritage status in 1987. Originally built to keep people out of China, the Great Wall now welcomes millions of visitors each year. In fact, the influx of tourists has caused the wall to deteriorate, leading the Chinese government to launch preservation initiatives. It's also often acclaimed as the only man-made structure visible from space. Unfortunately, that's not at all true. In low Earth orbit, all sorts of structures, highways, and airports are visible, and the Great Wall is only barely discernible. From the moon, it doesn't stand a chance. But regardless, it's the Earth we should be studying it from, because new sections are still discovered every few years, branching off from the main body and expanding this remarkable monument to human achievement.
All right, great video, folks. Any thoughts on what we just saw? Any thoughts? Any thoughts?
Yep, you all can unmute and share if you'd like. Any new things that you learned?
Well, the wall is a cultural phenomenon, they said, and it's not visible from space, but it sure is an outstanding structure.
Yeah. It said it was one of the largest human structures ever built. But I mean, what's bigger than that?
Yeah, what's bigger than that?
I'm trying to wrap my mind. Can you say like I don't know, our super highway system, Highway 70 that goes from Baltimore to where does it end up in LA or something? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
It's the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, which is the largest. It's a height of over 828 meters. But that's the world's tallest human-made structure.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard different estimates about the length of the wall, because I was reading something that said 13,171 miles. Is there any conclusive number regarding the length?
I was researching this also, and what I learned was that the Chinese government is in the process of trying themselves to figure out how long the wall is. Like they're still finding new sections of it. So I think even the Chinese government can't give you a solid number. And I think, you know, some people are including some sections while others in these presentations aren't including those sections. So, you know, it's a pretty fuzzy thing. And if you look at some pictures of the wall, I don't know if we have them here. I mean, it just looks like a rise in the ground because it's so worn down. It's that old mud packed wall from 2,000 years ago. So, you know, there has to be some archaeological, you know, work done to verify that that indeed is the wall and not just a mound in the soil.
Right.
There's so many different viewpoints, whether it's tallest or longest or dense, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder, you know.
Yeah. We should do something, Alex, on the Burj Khalifa, by the way. That is a phenomenal structure. Just throwing that out there. Maybe like the 7 New Wonders or something.
Yeah. Fun.
Yes.
All right. So here, let's go into some fun facts here. Fun facts. 10 things to know. Okay, here we go. 10 things to know. Okay, well, look at the first one here.
And make sure you hit no thanks. Make
I
sure you
knew
hit no thanks so you can see more of the screen. You see it says no thanks?
Oh, sorry, I'm being blocked here. So I gotta move. I gotta move my icons.
Yeah, there you go.
So here's a new number for the length. Boy,
Right.
no two same numbers here.
But this is kilometers, so it's a different. Yeah, that's
Yes.
So this one's 20,000 kilometers. Okay, great. So let's see whatever. There are 15 strategic passes from the east to the west. Now, what does that mean? The Great Wall stretches across 15 northern Chinese provinces, municipalities, and autonomous regions from the. Oh, I love how they pronounce it in Mandarin, right? Like Bohai. Well, I can't replicate that. The Bohai Sea in the east to the Gobi Desert. There are 15 geographically important passes built along the route. Geographically important passes. I'm not sure I know what that means. But it did take over 2,000 years to construct the wall. Well, that's quite a process. Maybe that's the longest built structure in the history of the world. The first emperor took the remnants of ancient fortifications, walls, and earthworks, linked them into a unified wall around 220 BC. So some of those earthworks are still around. I saw pictures of them. This picture shows the first pier of the Great Wall, which was built with rammed loess, whatever that means, in 1539 AD. Huh. First pier of the Great Wall. What else is there? It is not a wall, but a series of fortifications. The Great Wall is not a single structure, but it includes towers, barriers, barracks, garrison stations, fortresses, all along the wall, together forming a full defensive system. So various materials are used. This is interesting. The Great Wall is a massive monument built with different materials. Most of the sections we see today were built with bricks and cut stone blocks. Lime mortar was used to hold the bricks together. Where bricks and blocks weren't available, tamped earth, uncut stone, and wood were used as local materials. You know, this is interesting because I remember when we studied the Great Pyramids of Egypt, like although the outside of it looks like it's all these fine cut blocks, the inside of the pyramid in many cases is just uncut, blocks, stones piled up. So it looks like they did the same thing here. In the eastern begins in the sea. The eastern beginning in the sea, well, that's pretty. Then the Shanhai Pass. The Shanhai Pass is a fortress built in the Ming Dynasty and is the first pass in the east of China. It is located outside the Qinghangdao city on Bohai Bay, 305 kilometers away from Beijing. Given its strategic location, it's reputed as the first pass under heaven. Interesting. The western end in the Gobi Desert, the Jiahu Pass. Oh, interesting. The Jiahu Pass is famous for being the first frontier fortress at the western end of the Great Wall of China in the Ming Dynasty. Among the hundreds of passes of the Great Wall, the Jiahu Pass is one of the most well-preserved passes in existence. Well, that is really in good shape, isn't it? Look at that thing. That's beautiful. That is in really good shape.
Yeah, that is.
And that's, I mean, if that's on the far west, that's really in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? Near the Gobi Desert. An Ancient Tale of Love, the legend of Lady Ming Zhang, one of the four greatest love legends in ancient China. Oh, the Romantics. Lady Ming Zhang's husband was sent to build the Great Wall and never gave news. She departed to bring winter clothes to him, but heard that he had already died. She weeps so bitterly that part of the wall collapsed.
Well, that's a legend.
That's a legend.
Mm-hmm.
That is a legend. Wow. 9 workers from ancient times left marks on the bricks. Only 9. Oh, that's number 9. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, Lou.
I was gonna say only 9. Are you kidding me? Okay, the workers from ancient times left marks on the bricks. Check that out. That's like ancient.
I never knew
That's
that. That's so interesting.
It's ancient graffiti, right?
Yeah.
That's
They
amazing.
might have left their name.
Look at that.
You would never know.
You know what's interesting?
What?
Now that I'm thinking of some travels I've done, I remember years ago I was in St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome. You know, where there's graffiti in the pews from like 500 years ago. It's in it. And then years and years and years ago, I was at the Western Wall in Jerusalem, and there's graffiti on the blocks of the Western Wall of the Great Temple. You know, that's 2,000 years old or more. So maybe we should do a special on all the graffiti. That's almost more interesting than the structure itself.
Right, and the time capsules.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the wall was more like more fortified than a fence, but I thought it was like a fence. But I'm finding out it had passes and forts all along the structure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. And I'm really mesmerized by these stamps and these bricks. I wonder what they say.
Their name, date.
Yeah.
Check out the description.
So some say that the text on the bricks is a method that General Xing Zhuangzhang devised in order to assess the quality of the bricks made by the soldiers and to clarify the responsibilities. However, historians question this. Oh, read more here. I don't want to go to that quite yet. Maybe I'll go back to it in a second. Are we okay in time, Alex? Might want to read more.
If you would like, I mean, it's really just interesting by itself, that fact. Never knew.
Yeah. It is Chinese people's greatest cultural icon. The Great Wall is a product of countless laborers over a period of 2,000 years and is a feast of engineering. It also reflects the collision and exchanges between agriculture and nomadic civilizations. The Yuan Dynasty, the Zhengzhou Pass functioned as a major traffic artery from Beijing to Inner Mongolia. Hence, Yuan emperors often took this route between those places. Temporary imperial palaces, temples, gardens were constructed. Amazing. Let me just branch to here, just see where this takes us. What does that say? The text bricks. Oh, this is a nice website, Alex.
Yeah, Google is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there you go. Some more information.
Mainly for the Ming Dynasty. Key information, the location, quantity, the brick household name, the responsible officials, the names of the. So I guess it was a way of holding them responsible, whoever made the bricks. You know, yang, yin, body, reverse, regular, song, official, running, others. The most important purpose of the text bricks was to accurately assess the quality of the bricks produced by the soldiers. It's similar to some of the modern methods of ensuring engineering quality. Interesting. All right. Well, this really goes into some detail, doesn't it? I don't want to go into too much. We got a lot to cover still. Perforated bricks. Most perforated bricks are square, and there's a perforation from the middle to the bottom. The upper half of the hole is arched, the lower half is rectangular. Interesting.
How do they engineer this stuff? Oh my goodness, like this is amazing.
Yeah. Okay, water trough bricks. The top of the battlement walls and parapet walls were paved with a layer of rigid bricks, which were high in the middle and low on either side to facilitate drainage. Interesting. At the top of the wall, along the inner wall, there's water channels. Rain flow along the trough of the drain hole poured water out of the wall through the spout. Fascinating. All right, well, let's see if we can get back to where we were. Any questions about what we just saw? I think this is fascinating stuff. All right, let me just cue this back up. Uh-oh.
Hope you all are learning a lot. Just refresh your page, Lou.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I may have to advance through. Okay, oh, here we are. Okay, fantastic. All right, and then let me view the slideshow. Okay, great stuff. And then how the Great Wall of China was built. Let's get this queued up because we're running out of time.
The Great Wall of China. It stretches 13,000 miles from snow-covered deserts in the west, all the way to the Yellow Sea. Like the Silk Road, the Great Wall of China has never been one single wonder, but many. Begun by China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, it is added to over the centuries as different dynasties lengthen and strengthen it. Over 1 billion super tough clay bricks have helped it survive for centuries. The wall rises almost 2 stories high, with tall battlements to shield defenders and built-in arrow loops for shooting at invaders. This monumental brick structure is 13,000 miles long and 16 feet wide, with tens of thousands of watchtowers standing guard. For centuries, it is China's first line of defense. But the construction of this iconic brick wall isn't the first time that China's emperors have built a wall across the country. Their predecessors erect primitive walls made from earth over 1,500 years before the famous brick wall is even started. Great Wall historian William Lindsay walks the wall to investigate its many secrets.
This way is China. This way is Mongolia, their nomadic lands. The Chinese had a good deal. They could farm, they could produce a lot of food, more than they needed. People in the north, bad deal. It's impossible to farm there, the growing season is too short.
The nomads live to the north of China and move their herds with the seasons. They raid China on horseback to get hold of the goods and foods they can't produce themselves.
The drought or a terrible winter could destroy everything the people had. And then they had a survival challenge. Where to go for relief. They didn't go north to Siberia. They naturally came south and trespassed on Chinese land.
The Chinese live in fear of these Mongol raids on their land and also on their Silk Roads.
This was the beginning of the Great Wall conflict.
Historian William Lindsay explores a section of the Great Wall just north of Beijing.
Just 50 miles over there is Beijing. That was not a very safe position. In 1550, the Mongols stormed through the wall. And the vulnerability of Beijing's position came into perspective.
The Mongol army surges through the wall and besieges Beijing. It devastates the surrounding population and countryside.
The court and the corridors of power were absolutely shaking in fear. The question was, how could the Great Wall of China fail?
China's Emperor Jiajing orders an upgrade, creating the great wonder we see today. To protect China and the Silk Road, the Chinese build a vast structure using billions of tons of solid stone and bricks, sitting on a sturdy foundation of huge granite blocks. Smooth bricks make the sheer walls almost impossible to scale. And battlements protect the defenders at the top. Between the brick faces, crammed rubble creates a stable core, and smooth stones pave the top. 22 feet high and 16 feet thick, this wall is impenetrable. Stretching 13,000 miles across the continent, over 1 billion super tough bricks have helped it survive for centuries to protect the Silk Road. How do engineers complete the longest structure ever built? Colin Richards has the answer. He has spent his career conserving brick buildings. Today he joins an extraordinary $15 million project to restore this magnificent structure. Alongside an 8-man restoration crew, he uses original construction techniques to investigate how China is able to produce enough bricks to build the Great Wall.
Any excess, throw it into the mold. Now we just need to make sure it gets to the corners. If we can get this off easy, then we've got a good brick.
The bricks in the Great Wall are 4 times larger than the bricks we use in the West to build houses today.
The bigger you can create them, although they're very heavy to move, then the quicker you can build the wall, because it's simply stacking one on top of each other. I'm happy with that. We can just smooth out the side. That can dry out. It'll go in the kiln and we'll have another brick for the Great Wall of China.
The team leaves the bricks to dry. Next, they need firing. Firing will fuse the clay particles in the bricks to make them super tough. When the Great Wall of China is built, thousands of kilns light up this landscape. It is the longest, most expensive fortification ever made, with hundreds of thousands of men working to complete it.
There were always kilns being loaded, kilns being fired and kilns being opened. And what that meant was that the men on top of the hill, they had a constant supply of bricks. And the wall would be able to march on and on because this production line was incessant.
To produce perfectly fired bricks, Colin and the team rely on their years of experience and carefully control the kiln's temperature.
We have to keep an eye on the colors that the bricks are changing to. We go through a sort of red hot, a yellow hot, a white hot. And once we're on the white hot, we have to hold it at that for 12 hours to ensure that temperature, which is around 1,000 degrees, spreads through the stack of bricks and then stop the firing.
The brick kiln relies on an ingenious design. The fire isn't under the bricks, but beside them in a tunnel that draws in fresh air. The kiln shape forces hot air down through the bricks and out of the 3 chimneys, so the bricks fire evenly. If they heat up too quickly, water vapor expands in the clay and can explode the bricks like grenades, destroying the kiln's load. But get the firing right, and the kiln quickly produces thousands of tough, sturdy bricks to construct the wall.
Yeah.
24 hours after the successful firing, the crew must haul these newly fired bricks up to the wall. So how do the wall's original builders move billions of bricks from the kilns to the top of high mountain peaks?
The transportation of these sort of heavy objects from one place to another, you know, is very arduous.
Just like their ancient counterparts, Colin and the team have only one option to get the work done: manpower.
We need all the labor we can get, because the more people you've got, then the easier the task becomes.
More than 1 million men are put to work building the Emperor's new Great Wall, constantly firing, transporting, and laying new bricks.
The conditions which the people were working in, you know, the extremes of heat in the summer over 40 degrees and then really low temperatures during the winter, and carrying these bricks up the mountains. You know, if you fell by the wayside, that was it. Life was cheap.
400,000 men die building the wall.
Wow, is that a great video? Thanks for finding that, Alexander. Any thoughts from the group on it? Any thoughts?
So they were replicating how the original wall was built. Is that what we were looking at?
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
It's amazing. 400,000 men died building that wall.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's see. And Alex, I'm not sure how we are in time. Is this, we have another
When
one here?
planning your trip to Beijing,
Yeah,
a
just
visit to
go
the
through
Great
it as
Wall
we
is
speak.
undoubtedly a highlight. While many are familiar with the renowned Battling Great Wall, there are 2 other sections in Beijing that offer equally mesmerizing experiences. In this video, we'll introduce you to 3 remarkable sections of the Great Wall, each with its own distinct features and breathtaking vistas. Let's start with the Battling Great Wall, often acclaimed as the 8th wonder of the world. Battling stands as the epitome of the Great Wall's preservation and significance. For Chinese visitors, It embodies the very essence of this iconic structure. Badaling Great Wall boasts steep terrain and commanding views, serving as a crucial military pass and protective barrier for Beijing during the Ming Dynasty. Standing atop Badaling, surrounded by majestic mountains, you can truly sense the weight of history and the strategic importance of this ancient fortification. It's as if you can almost hear the echoes of ancient warriors resounding through the centuries. However, the popularity of Badaling comes with its downside. It tends to be overcrowded with tourists. This iconic site is a must-visit for travelers to Beijing, both domestic and international alike. If you find yourself in Beijing during a Chinese public holiday, I highly recommend exploring alternative times or sections of the Great Wall to avoid the crowds at Badaling. Otherwise, you would see the Great Wall like this, like this, like this. Of course, if you're up for experiencing the enthusiasm of 1.4 billion Chinese people, you're welcome to join and feel the overwhelming sensation of the Great Wall packed with visitors. Let's take a moment to appreciate the breathtaking scenery of the Badaling Great Wall, silently reflecting on the craftsmanship of ancient Chinese builders and the beauty of the surrounding nature. Once we've soaked in this experience, I'll proceed to introduce the second section of the Great Wall in Beijing, which I highly recommend for exploration: the Mutianyu Great Wall. The Mutianyu Great Wall is relatively less known among tourists in China compared to Badaling, resulting in fewer crowds. Moreover, Mutianyu's section of the Great Wall has been well preserved, retaining much of its original appearance, unlike Badaling, which has undergone extensive modern restoration and modification. This allows visitors to have a more authentic experience and better appreciate the historical significance of the Great Wall. Additionally, situated in the mountainous area of Huairou, Mutianyu is surrounded by dense forests, offering visitors a diverse and picturesque landscape throughout the year. In particular, during autumn, the crimson leaves further enhance its beauty, making Mutianyu an ideal destination for experiencing the autumn foliage in Beijing. Hence, Mutianyu is perfect for travelers who wish to explore the Great Wall, while also seeking tranquility and a connection with nature. However, I still advise avoiding visiting during China's public holidays to ensure a more peaceful and enjoyable experience. Let's first enjoy the Mutianyu Great Wall. After that, I will introduce the last section of the Great Wall in Beijing, which is the most rugged Jiangku Great Wall. The Jiangkou Great Wall is a relatively lesser-known section of the Great Wall within China, but it's widely recognized in outdoor enthusiast circles. Despite its lesser fame, it's actually one of the most featured sections in Great Wall promotional materials. So, while many may not have heard of it by name, almost everyone has seen its majestic and rugged beauty in photographs and videos showcasing the Great Wall. Due to its extremely rugged terrain, the Jiangkou Great Wall cannot be developed as a tourist attraction, earning it the nickname Wild Great Wall. Each brick of this section was crafted by Chinese workers over 600 years ago. Resting atop the treacherous peaks of the Yan Mountains for centuries, enduring the elements, it now stands as a testament to time, with sections reduced to ruins. Walking along this Great Wall, one can't help but feel the weight of history, marveling at how ancient Chinese workers managed to construct such a monumental feat amid these daunting mountains. It's truly awe-inspiring and often leaves visitors in disbelief. Western nations frequently admire China's modern infrastructure, which boasts an expansive network of high-speed railways and highways stretching across the country. When standing atop this ancient Great Wall, and beholding the uninterrupted line of fortifications winding along the rolling mountain ridges, one can't help but be awed by the inherent infrastructure capabilities deeply embedded in the Chinese heritage. An advantage of visiting the Jianghu Great Wall is the lack of crowds. You'll only come across occasional hikers and adventurers. However, it's crucial to highlight that only individuals with outdoor experience should consider climbing the Jianghu Great Wall, as there are fatal accidents from falls reported here every year. All right, let's appreciate the majestic Jianghu Great Wall. That concludes the introduction to the 3 sections of the Great Wall in Beijing.
Wow, I want to go to that section. That looks really cool. All right, let's see if we can get the show on the road.
Our last video.
Oh, is there one more?
Mm-hmm. It's today.
Right here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's the biggest man-made structure on Earth that spans nearly 5,000 miles and centuries of history. We're on the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall was first built as a barrier to keep out invading troops. These days, the UNESCO World Heritage Site is a major tourist attraction, leading you back over 2,000 years. So consider this a mini tour of the iconic structure, or at least some key parts of it.
To drive from where it starts at the sea to where it ends in the desert is about 1,500 miles.
The Great Wall technically goes from Shanhaiguan on the east coast to Jiayuguan in Gansu province in the west. But it's not contiguous or constant. Some parts, like the battling section near Beijing, are restored. Elsewhere, it's been worn down by time and weather. Dong Yaohui has walked the entire length of the Great Wall. He and 2 friends were the first in China to do it back in 1984. An epic journey that took 508 days.
Leaving the first complete line of human footprints on the Great Wall, I thought it would be meaningful.
When you took the last step, how did that feel?
My mood was like, here we are.
We traveled west across the barren Gobi Desert to where that journey ended, to Jiayuguan, where there is one remaining stone of the first tower of the Great Wall's westernmost limit.
This is where it starts and pushes out into the desert.
Out here, the wall looks different, made of rammed earth, loess soil, and rock. The spectacular Jiayuguan Fortress, once a vital pass on the ancient Silk Road.
It's quite a contrast, an ancient fort that now watches over modern factories.
Perched along the mountain, the overhanging Great Wall was said to look like a dragon.
There's a lot of stairs.
The hike, 2,500 feet straight up, but at the top, worth it. The Great Wall journey for Dong Yaohui never really ended. After seeing how much of it was at risk of disappearing, he has since worked to protect it.
What's your favorite part of the Great Wall?
Every section is connected with my life and years of history. I like all of it.
The Great Wall is an enduring symbol of ancient China, a destination like no other.
There are wild sections of the Great Wall near Beijing that are not restored, and they're fantastic for hiking, and we go a lot, and every time we do, I still stand there and have this wow factor, like I'm standing on the Great Wall of China. And I want to mention to you guys also that there's this virtual walking tour that's online now. There's 360 photos. You can go into the watchtowers, that sort of thing. So it'll give you a sense of what it's like until you can come to China and I can take you there. It's incredible, Jan.
All right. Alex, take us away.
Oh, once again, thank you so much, Lou, for presenting our session today. We all learned a lot. I hope you all enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
So again, thank you, thank you. So we're going to go ahead and go into our trivia for today. So to practice. Again, I'll be taking 3 hands for each question. And at the end of the quiz, we will see who was right. And 2 of you today will win a prize. So make sure that you guys get ready for our trivia. To raise your hand, you can hit more at the top right, and then hit raise hand, or if your toolbar is at the bottom, you can tap on reactions and then tap on raise hand, okay? So I want everyone in Zoom to please raise their hand. Again, we'll take the first 3 answers for each question. Again, you tap more at the top right, raise hand, or you can hit reactions at the bottom and then tap on raise hand, okay? Thank you. We have 2 hands so far. Again, just making sure that we utilize that so you will win or may win a prize today, okay? Thank you so much for participating. Really appreciate that. Thank you. And we're going to go ahead and go into our session, our quiz. So make sure you all are ready for our trivia. 1 second. So we're going to go based off of the even question. So this is not a question for us. So we'll go into the next one. And again, we'll be looking at all of the correct answers at the end. Okay, so 1 second. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So first up, and I'm just picking a random answer for that. Where was the Great Wall located? Along the western border, the southern border, the northern border, along the ocean to the east, or around the city of Beijing? What is your answer? Please raise your hand. We'll take the first 3 hands. Okay, we have 1 hand so far. 1 hand so far. Take 2 more for this question. Again, please raise your hand and you have a chance of winning a prize today. All right, we have 2 hands, 1 more hand for this question. All right, if there are not any other hands, we'll take these 2. So thank you so much for participating. Ms. Doris, what do you think it is?
It's the last one around the city of
Okay,
Beijing.
thank you, Ms. Doris. All right. Miss Wilder, what do you say?
Thought I was gonna say the same thing, okay?
All
No, but
right.
I remember hearing about Beijing.
All right, thank you. And then, okay, Miss Brenda, what do you say?
I'll say along the northern border.
All right, we'll see who is correct in just a moment. Thank you. Good job, you all. And thank you for lowering your hands. So we'll go with the city of Beijing, but we'll see what it is at the end. All right, so number 4. Why were the towns built along the Great Wall? Is it to house soldiers who guarded the wall and defended against attacks because it was very safe to live close to the wall? Because they had one wall built already, making the town easier to defend? They weren't because it was too far north and no one wanted to live there, or to establish trade with the people on the other side of the wall. Any takers? Why were the towns built along the Great Wall? Definitely think about some of the videos we had just viewed and see if you can get the answer from those. Okay, we have 2 hands. All right, 3 hands. Thank you so much. Miss Doris, what do you say?
I'm gonna say the first one, to house the soldiers who guarded the wall and defended against the attacks.
All right, thank you. Yvonne, what do you say?
The first one, to house the soldiers.
Okay, and Miss Brenda, what do you say?
I also say the first one.
All right, full house for that. We'll see if it's correct in just a moment. So thank you. Again, taking the first 3 hands. Don't forget to lower your hand. We'll go with that one, see if it's right. All right, number 6. If you put all of the sections of the wall together, about how long would the wall be? 10 miles, 150 miles, 1,000 miles, 2,500 miles, or 5,500 miles? Yes, first 3 hands will take your answer. So we have 2 so far. Take 1 more hand. All right, thank you. Miss Wilda, what do you say?
5,500.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. Miss Gracie, what do you say?
5,500.
All right. And then Yvonne, what do you say?
1,000 miles.
Say that again.
1,000.
All right. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Again, we'll see what it is at the end. Appreciate it. We'll go with 55 since that was the majority, but we'll see. All right, 2 more questions, you all, just 2 more. Which of the following statements is not true about the Great Wall of China? It is considered to be one of the new 7 wonders of the world. It was built over the course of over 1,000 years. It is the longest man-made structure in the world. Only the rich and wealthy were allowed to work on the wall. Or during the Ming Dynasty, around 1 million soldiers were on guard at the wall. So which of these statements are not true? Not true. So it's a good question. Okay, we have 2 hands. Take 1 more hand for this. All right, we have 3 hands. Thank you so much. Miss Wilder, what do you say?
Rich and wealthy were allowed to work on the wall.
Okay, thank you. Geraldine, what do you say?
I would say the same thing. Only the rich and wealthy were allowed to work on the wall.
All right, and Miss Doris, you were the last one for this one. What do
Okay,
you
I agree with what they said. That only the rich and wealthy were not allowed to work on the wall.
Thank you so much. Good job. You all, thank you. Yeah, you got to get in there when you can. So we'll go with that and see if it's right at the end. 1 more question. So 1 more chance to win or a prize today. What was the wall built out of? Wood, marble, stone and bricks, wrought iron, or chain links? All right, yes, I see all the responses. Love it. Thank you. So we'll go with Miss Dolores. What do you say?
The rock, the solid rock,
Say that again, Miss Dolores.
the number 1. You said the bricks and chain? Can you repeat the?
Yes, so what do you see the question, Miss Dolores? What was the wall built out of? So which of
No, it's all I see is all the attendees, participants.
Oh, you have to make sure you're out of participants, Miss Dolores. That's so you could see your screen.
Okay, it's not coming up there.
Yeah, so we're again
Okay.
Yeah, so do you see the question now, Miss Dolores?
Oh, it done went off again.
Okay, Miss Dolores, just try coming back on so you could see the screen, okay? Miss Wilda, what do you say for this one?
Stone and bricks.
Okay, thank you. All right, Miss Gracie, what do you say?
Stone and bricks.
All right. And we got 1 more. We got Miss Doris. That was the last one.
Stone and bricks.
All right. So let's see for these, bless you. We'll see which ones are correct. So again, thank you so much for your participation, everyone. So let's submit and go through our answers. So number 2, where was the Great Wall located? It was the correct answer along the northern border. So Miss Brenda, you got that. Good job. All right, number 4, why were the towns built along the Great Wall? To house soldiers. So good job, you all. That answer got that correct. So that was Ms. Brenda once again, Miss Doris, and Miss Vaughn. Good job. All right, number 6. If you put all the sections of the wall together, how long would it be? 5,500 miles. Good job to those. So Miss Wilda, Miss Gracie, thanks so much. Great job for that. Number 8, statements not true about the Great Wall of China. So all of you got that correct. Thank you. Good job. So that was Miss Wilda, Miss Doris, and Miss Geraldine. Good job. And for our last one, what was the wall built out of? Stone and bricks. So once again, all those that answered got it correct. So good job to Miss Doris, Miss Wilda, and Miss Gracie. So thank you all again for participating for our trivia. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and go into our wheel, and we're going to pick 2 winners for today. So make sure you all check out our next lunch club next week for another chance to win a prize. So we're going to go into our wheel. And again, we're going to have 2 prizes. So once we have 1 winner, we'll figure out and see the next winner. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we got Ms. Doris for the first one. So thank you so much, Ms. Doris, as our first winner. Congratulations. And our next winner for today and it was really close. It was Miss Gracie. So congratulations to you, Miss Doris and Miss Gracie. Thanks so much for participating. You each won a holiday ornament set for next year. So we're going to be providing those for a while, but you'll be ready for your tree for next year. So congratulations. Thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all again so much for participating in our session today. You all did a great job with the trivia and the slides. Let's all thank Lou for presenting today, and I will see you all shortly for Module 3. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
Lou.
Thanks.
Thank you, Lou. I
Nice.
was
Thanks,
cheated out of
everybody.
that.
It's been a blast. I learned so much. I learned so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Have a
Thanks,
good
Lou.
day. See you all soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not.